It's Monday the 8th of May and it's Bank Holiday Monday yet again. We've just come through Standedge Tunnel eastbound, and it took us 5 minutes less than it took us to go westbound. We had a different chaperone. I don't think that made any difference, but we did bump the side a few times. When we came out of the tunnel, it was absolutely slinging it down with rain. So because there's no other boats on the canal at this section of the canal at the moment, we know that because of the tunnel bookings. They've told us there's nobody due now through until Wednesday. So we've moored up here on the landing for the tunnel because there's no other boats, and had a cup of tea and dried out a bit, although we didn't get wet in the tunnel. Well, we did get wet, a little bit wet in the tunnel, but I've had to put the crash cover back on and everything and got wet through doing that. So we've lit a fire and hung our coats up to dry, and looking at the weather now, it's not raining as heavily, so we're thinking we might get going now. We've got about 9 or 10 locks to do if we're going to go to where we want to go, which is Wool Road near Saddleworth. We've also been told by CRT staff that down at Wool Road the pound is virtually empty at the moment, but they're working on it to try and get it back up to level. So hopefully by the time we get there will be some water in the canal. Otherwise we'll be mooring up in a lock tonight, I think. So let's look at the journey that we took through the tunnel with this time-lapse video. It took us 1 hour and 15 minutes to go from Marsden to Diggle through the tunnel, and we travelled at more or less normal canal speed, the speed that we would normally travel on the canal where there's no boats moored. This is the best way of steering the boat. If you're going too slow, you find you're bouncing from side to side. So if you do it at normal speed and concentrate, you can keep to the centre channel. And we only bumped a couple of times, I think, inside. As we go through the video, you'll see there's some captions at the bottom, and these point out the features that occur within the tunnel. The main feature are the adits, which were dug when the first railway tunnel was dug to enable the spoil from the tunnel workings to be loaded into boats and taken away by the canal. These occur quite frequently. They're also used by Network Rail and the Canal and River Trust to gain access to their assets. The Network Rail live railway tunnel is on the right as we're travelling, so to enable their operatives to get across to that tunnel, there are bridges just below the roof of the canal that link the adits on the left with an adit on the right, which goes into the live railway tunnel. And again, these will be captioned as we pass them. The most unusual feature of the canal is the S-bend, which occurs near the middle. This was caused because the two lots of workings, when they dug from each end, when they met in the middle, they actually didn't meet in the middle. They were 26 feet adrift. So to link up the two alignments, an S-bend was created in the canal, and this is clearly visible. And again, there's a caption on the video where this occurs, and you can see it. You'll notice also that some parts of the tunnel are lined with brick, others are just solid rock, which obviously doesn't need reinforcing, it holds itself up. Where the rock has eroded, you'll see that there's like a sprayed concrete finish, and that was added when the canal was restored for reopening in the early 2000s. So enjoy the journey through the tunnel, and it won't be too long before we see daylight. So it's goodbye Standedge Tunnel as we head east now, and it's still raining slightly but not as bad as it was. Sue's gone to set the lock, we'll see how we go. If the locks are all full when we get there, it won't take so long, but we just don't know till we get there. We've got a very unusual situation at this lock because this pound has drained the pound in front of us, and Sue's trying to set the lock downstream. The CRT are actually letting water in through the paddles to try and flood the pound, or at least increase the level of the water in the pound, which, because I'm waiting in the throat of the lock, it's throwing my boat about a bit, but I don't mind that as long as I've got enough water to get to the next lock. You can see how low it is just there by the side of the bow of the boat. It's really low, and of course Sue's taking water out of it to fill the next lock down, and they're only short pounds, so we're having to put more water in. So it's a good job the CRT are on top of it, really, because we'd be in trouble otherwise. I'm just holding the boat steady in a slow reverse gear now, just holding it in this position. I've got to keep an eye on the bottom gate though, because once she's opened it, I'm going, and she's opened it, so I'm going. Tuesday the 9th of May, and we've made a start. It's about 10 to 10, and we're just approaching lock 23, which is the one under Saddleworth Railway Viaduct, and Sue's having to fill it. The water levels don't seem to have dropped overnight. The pound that we moored in was pretty even this morning to what it was last night, so hopefully we won't have too many issues today. This one's dropping fast. It filled slow and emptied fast. We're gradually descending the locks now. We've reached Mossley, and the lock behind me is lock 17, and Sue's gone to do 16. There's plenty of water in the canal today, but it's still shallow at the edges, so I'm having to stay in the middle, give her 5 or 6 minutes to go and get the other lock ready, and then I shall leave here and have a steady ride down towards the next lock, which isn't too far away. So there's loads of water in that pound, as you can see, and she's just radioed me to say the next lock's ready, so I better go and get on the boat and head that way. we've got a paddle that doesn't unlock. It's nearly full. So this is Mossley. We've just finished lunch and the sun's come out. And this is obviously an ex-mill that's found a new use, complete with mill chimney. And we're at lock 14. And I think down here is the River Tame, which obviously powered the mill at one time. Yep. And I think we've got a cascade here. It's coming out the canal actually. Yeah, it's a sluice from the canal. Hiya.